welcome to Sophia Wisdom. My name is Maria Benning, and I am a channel for Divine Sophia. And what that means is that I allow this energy, this spirit, this angel, this guide to make contact with me, to connect with me, and to speak through my voice. And the way that I do that is I simply just allow it to happen. I feel it already as it's coming, and I just basically put my own will aside. It's not that I go unconscious or anything, but I allow this communication, this meld, if you will, to occur. And this way of communicating with Spirit has been going on with me for about a year and a half. And in the summer of 2005, when I was extremely ill and received a distance healing from something called reconnective healing, and this was via a friend of mine over in Germany while I was living in California, this seems to have created some kind of an opening for me. The first thing that started to happen was that I began to directly hear from the Spirit of Jesus. And I was raised a Catholic, and so, of course, I had a bit of a connection, but really my connection was far stronger to Mary. So when this started to happen for me, it felt as if Jesus were actually right here in the room with me, not speaking through my voice, but communicating with me. And it was a wonderful comfort and helped me to heal. About a year after that, I began to directly channel information from other entities, from other angels and guides. And that has developed now over the last year and a half to where I am primarily working with an angel or a guide who calls herself Divine Sophia. And what she has told me is that she is the creative partner to God the Father, that it was she who was tasked with seeding humanity. And she refers to us as her children. So my show, Divine Sophia, is where I allow her to speak, to address concerns that we have. I have a number of questions, like I'm sure many of you do. And so every week we speak about what those questions and concerns are. And this week what I'm going to talk about is whether or not we all have this ability, because it seems to me that if someone who was as far removed from the spiritual realm as I was, and what I mean by that is really I was just focused on being a wage earner. I had a pretty high-powered position in the human resources field. I worked in the corporate environment for many years, and I had moved out to San Francisco in order to take a job on in the human resources field in the financial district. And that was really my frame of reference. That's kind of how my world worked. Now, this has completely changed my life, and I'm doing a lot of different things, including healing. I'm a reconnective healer, and you can find out more about what that is, and I'll probably talk more about that in the future. But my website is reconnectandheal.com, and there's a lot of my story on that website. So this weekly program that I'm doing, this series, is to address a number of issues. The last time we were on, we spoke about global warming, for example. And if there's something that you would like to hear from Source, from these angels, from God about, I hope that you'll email me and let me know what those questions and concerns are. That's how I get a lot of the topics for the show I do and for the blog that I write. So what I'm going to do now is just allow Sophia and any other entities who wish to come in to do that. And the way I do this is I just connect with this healing energy that is in me. And this is what it looks like when I do a reconnective healing session for someone. And for whatever reason, it seems to be the way that the channeling flows through me easiest. So again, this topic that we're speaking about today is about channeling itself and whether that is something that each of us can do. So I'm going to close my eyes. They'll pop open periodically. You might find it easier to connect with me and with what's happening if your eyes are closed and you can allow yourself to feel the energy. So we're in this beautiful setting at my friend's house in the hill country. And I feel that Sophia is with me and with us. And Sophia and any of you others who would like to address this question, I welcome that. And as always, I'm very honored to work with you in this way. And here we go. we have been patiently awaiting this opportunity to connect with you in this way. This one here, Maria, who is my vessel, my conduit for communication, was taken quite by surprise when this ability was awakened in her. It is a time of magical encounter. It is an adventure that we embark upon together. And it creates love and unity for all parties concerned. You see, this is not something that is done from on high, from above, and forced upon you. It is allowed through the permission. And in this case, it was through Maria's asking directly to the Father to be healed. Now, this is perhaps not exactly what she had in mind. Nevertheless, it was through her free will, through her intent, and through her connections with another channel, the one who calls himself Lee Carroll, who channels Cryon, that cracked her heart open and created, if you will, this opening in her. For when she first heard the channelings from Lee Carroll of Cryon, her heart was deeply stirred, because what it allowed, as he came in and brought in what he calls the entourage, what it allowed was for her to, for the first time really since the death of her mother, to feel her presence again. This is what happens when a channeling occurs. You see, we come in a group. It is family that comes to connect with you, and we fill up the spaces all around you. We are thrilled to work with you in this way. And while it may seem now that there are very few people who have this ability, we say to you that it is actually quite a simple transformation. Your intention, your will, plays the grandest role here. We are always ready and waiting for you to reach out to us. There are people who have this ability to facilitate an opening in others, and in fact there are healing modalities that do help to free up, if you will, the space to hear from those of us who are on the other side of the veil, if you will. This term that you will hear quite often, the other side of the veil, is simply a way of explaining that it is as if there is a very sheer curtain between us. And if you can broaden your perspective just a bit, then you can see through that curtain to what is there. It's always there, but there is a bit of a film that is obscuring your view, your vision. It is a yearning, if you will, for all of us to be connected. It is because you come into this incarnation on the earth with this in your very DNA that you yearn for connection and that you feel sometimes separated even from your own heart.